Let us study combination reaction in an easy manner. A plus B will give me A, B, right? Let us take an example. H2 plus O2 gives H2O. Hydrogen and oxygen combine to give water. Now the point to be noted over here is that the formula of the resulting compound is not a simple join of the formula of both the reactants. I repeat, the formula of the resulting compound is not a simple join of the formula of both the reactants. That means they will not combine to give H2O2 by simply joining with each other. They will rather produce water. The formula of the resulting compound will depend upon the valency of both the elements. Let us see how. Hydrogen, oxygen. Now the valency of hydrogen is 1 and the valency of oxygen is 2. When you cross multiply, the resulting formula of water is H2O and not H2O2. So H2O will be your resulting compound. However, this equation is still unbalanced. It is incomplete. So let us balance it. On the left hand side, I have 2 atoms of hydrogen, and on the right hand side as well, I have 2 atoms of hydrogen. On the left hand side, I have 2 atoms of oxygen, while on the right hand side, I have just 1 atom of oxygen. So let me put a 2 here. Now this 2 will be multiplied with both hydrogen and oxygen. So I have 2 atoms of oxygen on the right hand side now, but let me check how many number of hydrogen atoms do I have on the right hand side now. 2 multiplied by 2 gives me 4. So I have 4 hydrogen atoms on the right hand side. So how do I make this 4? I put a 2 here. Now this equation is complete and balanced. 2H2 plus O2 gives me 2H2O. Now let us understand decomposition reaction. Now in the combination reaction, what we saw was that A and B, they combine together to give a single product AB. Now decomposition is just the opposite of combination. In decomposition, AB is breaking down to produce A and B. So what is the basic difference between combination and decomposition? In combination, there is one single product formed, and in decomposition, there is one single reactant which breaks down into simpler products. Let us take an example. H2O, that is water, breaks down to give H2 plus O2. In combination reaction, what we saw was H2 and O2 combined to give a single product H2O, and in decomposition what we can see is that H2O is breaking down to produce H2 and O2, hydrogen and oxygen. As we can see that the equation is unbalanced. So let us balance it. There are 2 atoms of hydrogen on the left, 2 atoms of hydrogen on the right. 1 atom of oxygen on the left, 2 atoms of oxygen on the right. So let me make this oxygen as 2 by putting a 2 here. Now I have 2 atoms of oxygen on the left and 2 atoms of oxygen on the right. Now let us check for hydrogen once again. Hydrogen on the left will be 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4, while on the right hand side I have only 2 hydrogen atoms. So if I put a 2 here, I will be having 4 hydrogen atoms on the right hand side as well. So this is your complete balanced equation. 2H2O breaks down to produce 2H2 plus O2. However, this takes place by the action of electric current. In the presence of electric current, water breaks down to produce hydrogen and oxygen. Let us take another example of decomposition reaction. CaCO3, which is calcium carbonate, it breaks down by the action of heat to produce simpler products, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Now, what is common in both these examples? That there is one single reactant in both the cases, right? So let us see whether this equation is balanced or not. One calcium atom on the left, one calcium atom on the right. One on the left, one on the right. One carbon on the left, one carbon on the right. Oxygen, 3 oxygens on the left, and on the right I have 2 plus 1, 3 oxygens again. So this equation is already balanced. So what we saw was that decomposition reaction is just the opposite of combination reaction. Let us understand displacement reaction or single displacement reaction in a simple manner. A reacts with BC to produce AC and B is displaced. Okay, now what has to be noted over here is that for this reaction to take place, A should be more reactive than B. Over here we are considering both A and B as metals, out of which the metal A should be more reactive than the metal B. Then only this reaction will take place. Now, how the reaction takes place? If A is more reactive than B, then A displaces B from its position. And as you can see in the product, A takes the position of B. Earlier we had BC in the reactants. Now we have AC in the products. That means A has taken the position of B. Why? Because A is more reactive than B, while B is displaced. This is what a displacement reaction is. Let us take an example. Iron reacts with copper sulfate Now you can see in this reaction both iron and copper are metals, out of which iron is more reactive than copper. Just like in the above reaction, A was more reactive than B. If iron is more reactive than copper, iron is going to take the place of copper, thus forming FeSO4, while the less reactive metal is displaced. So this is what a displacement reaction is. A more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its salt solution, thus producing a new salt and displacing the less reactive metal. Understanding double displacement reaction in a simple manner. Now let us have two reactants, AB and CD. As we know that usually we first write the cation and then the anion. So A will be the cation of the first reactant and B will be the anion of the first reactant. Similarly, C will be the cation of the second reactant and D will be the anion of the second reactant. Now let us see how the products will be formed. The cation of the first reactant A will combine with the anion of the second reactant D, giving you the first product AD. Similarly, second product. The cation of the second reactant C will combine with the anion of the first reactant B, giving you the second product CB. I repeat the procedure. How the products will be formed? the cation of the first reactant will combine with the anion of the second, giving you AD. Similarly, the cation of the second reactant will combine with the anion of the first reactant, thus giving you the second product, Cb. This is what double displacement is. Let us see an example. BaCl2 when reacts with Na2SO4. In words, how do I say? Barium chloride when reacts with sodium sulfate. Again, barium chloride when reacts with sodium sulfate gives me barium sulfate which is your precipitate, and the second product, sodium chloride. However, what you have to note over here is that the formula of the resulting products will depend upon the valencies of all the elements present in them. Just like for barium sulfate, the valency of barium is 2 and for sulfate we have 2. So what do I get? BaSO4. Similarly, NaCl, NaCl. The valency of sodium is 1 and the valency of chlorine is also 1. So what do I get? NaCl. Now this equation is unbalanced. Let us balance it. 1 atom of barium on the left, 1 atom of barium on the right. 2 atoms of chlorine on the left, 1 atom of chlorine on the right. So let me put a 2 here, which gives me 2 atoms of chlorine. Let us check for sodium. 2 atoms of sodium on the left and 2 atoms of sodium on the right. Let us check for the whole sulfate. There is 1 SO4 on the left and 1 SO4 on the right. Fine. So now this equation is balanced. This is how you find the products of double displacement reaction.